Hello, my name's Robert Robinette. I'm a librarian here at Arkansas State University, and I'm going to introduce you to the library. So the first thing you need to know is how to get to the library's homepage. And if you go to the A-State homepage or any A-State page, up at the top right after Giving, you'll find a link to Library. And this is basically home base for research. So let me talk a little bit about the library's homepage. Over on the left side of the screen, you'll see that there's a link to our research databases, and I'll talk a little bit more about research databases in a minute, but basically that's where you would go to search for things like articles from scholarly journals and other resources like that. We have all kinds of databases that cover all different subject areas, and it's really one of the best resources that we have. If we scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there's something called Interlibrary Loan. This is basically a service that we offer for any time we don't own or have access to something. So if you need an article from a scholarly journal that we don't subscribe to, we can request it from a different library using Interlibrary Loan. The next thing I want to mention is contact information for the library's faculty and staff. So you can find my contact information right here. And anytime you need help with research or you have any questions about the library, you can come and contact me or any of the other librarians, either via phone. You can come by my office in the library on the main floor, or you can send me an email. That's probably the quickest way, and we can talk about whatever your research needs might be. We also have a library dog. If you can't get in touch with me, or maybe it's later in the day or something like that, we also have our general contact information located on the library's homepage here. So again, you can email. Email goes to our service desk that you'll find on the second floor. And then, of course, we have social media. If you want to come share SpongeBob memes or something with us, you can do so on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram. And we also have a library YouTube channel and Pinterest. And then lastly, I'll mention one other way to contact us is via our chat service. This is actually a 24/7 chat service, so you can come on here at any time of day or night and ask a question and get a response very quickly, um, usually within a matter of a minute or two at the longest. So whether it's a big research question or something smaller like which floor is my book on, something to that effect, you can hop on the chat and get a very quick response. Okay, as far as the physical library goes, let me go back for just a second. You can find the library's hours on the library's homepage. Um, right now we're in the interim, but as soon as the semester begins, you can see our regular hours are typically we open at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then we're open until 1 a.m. Most nights, Monday through Thursday, and with slightly different hours on the weekend. When you come into the library on the main floor, it's actually the second floor of the building. You'll see our service desk, of course, but a lot of people come to print, and so if you need to print, and right now I'm showing our student guide to the library, you're allocated a certain amount of print money each semester. So for undergraduate students, you get 375 pages, and you simply uh, sit down at a computer, send your documents to the a printer, and then release them from the print station. It's really pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, there's not any color printing at the moment, but you do get upwards of 375 pages. And I say upwards because if you print double-sided, it's actually a bit cheaper. Normally it charges you 5 cents per page, but it charges you 4 cents if you do double-sided. So you can get a bit more mileage out of that allocated printing money. If you run out of funds, you can add print money via your e-accounts. Going back to the physical library, we do have a little video with the virtual tour. This is a bit dated now, so things look somewhat different. But essentially, the main floor, the second floor, and also the third floor are collaborative areas where you can generally be, fairly loud and talkative. But there are designated quiet floors, and that's the fourth and fifth floor of the library, where they're not silent floors, but they are quiet floors. So if you need a bit more solitude and peace and quiet, you can use one of those designated floors. And yes, we will actually enforce it. So you could hop on the chat or give us a call if anyone were to bother you on those floors, and then we would come up and shush them. There are study rooms throughout the library, both smaller individual study rooms and then larger group study rooms. So those are first come, first serve. You don't have to reserve those. And they're scattered throughout the library on the second floor all the way up through the fifth floor. Okay, let me mention a few more of our services. One of our primary services, of course, is research assistance. So if you need help identifying maybe the appropriate research database to use to find the sources that you need for an assignment or a paper or other project, then you can schedule a research consultation with me or one of the other librarians, and we can help guide you through the best resources and help you search and formulate your search and things like that. We also offer a half semester, 1 credit hour library. It's called Introduction to Academic Research is the name of the course. And again, this is an elective, of course, and it's just half semester, like I said, 1 credit hour. Not as much work is required. We offer it online as well as in person, and you'll learn all sorts of things about academic research, how to effectively search for sources, how to evaluate them, um, and just in general, how to conduct research uh, both for your other courses as well as throughout your life. Okay, so how do you actually find sources for your papers and whatnot that you're writing? Well, I mentioned research databases, and that's usually the way to go. But we have one particularly large database called OneSearch that is a good starting point no matter what your research needs might be. So let's say I'm interested in medical marijuana. I can click search, and we get all sorts of results. You can see we got over almost 1 million results, 993,000. So one thing we want to do is narrow down typically to maybe just journal articles, so scholarly journal articles. So if I come over here, I can click scholarly and peer reviewed. That's going to help narrow it down. And then I can click on, say I want something from the last, 5 years. So I can come over here to the filters and say from 2015 up to the present. So I'll just put 2015 in there. And you can see right there that we've narrowed it down by quite a bit, 14,686. So we got rid of, 979,000 results. So obviously, medical marijuana is a very broad topic, so we could narrow it down further. So one thing is we can insist on that exact phrase, right? We can say medical marijuana as those two words right beside each other. And that'll narrow it down a bit more because now we're insisting that those two words be right beside each other. And this is an excellent way to reduce the number of results. And you can see we went from 14,000 down to just over 1,000. Another thing we might do is add additional terms. So we might say something like medical marijuana cancer. So when we add another term, we're now narrowing it down even further. So you can see we've got it all the way down to 420. And realistically, most of the time, this is what you want to do. You want to narrow it down to into the hundreds at the most because there's simply not enough time to try and sift through thousands and thousands of results. So if your search is too broad, you're just going to have too many results. So we can use the different filters as well as adding additional terms to further narrow down our search. So once you're satisfied with the number of results, you can come over here and we can look in a bit more detail at our results. So maybe I like this first one, medical marijuana for cancer. If I click preview, one thing I can find is the abstract, which is simply a summary of the article. So I can quickly get an idea of what it's about. And then to access the entire journal article itself, I can click where it says full text online, and it will redirect me. If I'm off campus, you'll get a login screen like this, but it will redirect me to the article itself, and then I can read the entire thing. So let's just find the, here we go, get full text. We'll get, and you can see the actual article itself. So let's say we want a book instead. We would remove all of our previous filters, so we just click clear filters and that gets rid of everything. We start from the beginning, and then I would come down here to library location, and if I want a physical book in the library, I can click on general collection. If I want ebooks that I can browse, I would click on one of the ebook options, but we'll just say we want a physical book in the general collection. And then you simply select the one that you're interested in and write down its call number. And then depending on the call number that it starts with, that'll tell you which floor of the library tower it would be on. R is all the way up on the 5th floor, but you don't have to memorize that. We have little slips of paper that detail that, or you could ask one of the librarians or library staff who happen to be working to help you find it. Okay, a few other contacts that might interest you. Again, our main library contact. If you need government information, you can contact Dominique Hallett. Special rare materials in our archives, there's their contact information. And then there are other services in the library located on the 1st through the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor is our learning support services, which includes tutoring as well as the communication center and the writing center. And then lastly, if you need help with your Making Connections assignment, library assignment, we do have a video that demonstrates how to do that. All right, welcome to the library. We hope you have fun here and learn a lot.